This ain't one of them times you can slide by what you say that you gonna do. Put your money up, run that fade, time to show and prove. You know the vibes, partner. Ain't got no wins up in my casa. Clowning the day, gone in la mañana. I've been on fire lately. Train my spirit, mind, and body daily. Victory is sweet, that's the science, baby. It's only right we represent from Tampa to Tally. And keep the pressure on these ops, they cardio lacking. Till you flapping on the canvas, I'm bobbing and weaving. Unleashing the fury on your face while the audience screaming. Hope they got great seats or the pay-per-view. Let's get the breakdown from J, DJ, and Q. You know the vibes. Yeah, 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 yeah. You know the vibes. You know the vibes.
What up, good people? What's good, man? Welcome to Boxing Vibe TV, man. It's your boy Q. We got JD and Jay in the building, man. And we have a very, very sincere question for all boxing fans that's in tune with the sport. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Bob Crawford, man. We love you, man. I've seen you, done saluted, done flicked it up with you, man. Big fans of you. So don't take this the wrong way. It's only a question. When is Bud Crawford gonna get that big fight? You know what I'm saying? When is he gonna fight one of these pillars in the welterweight division? When is he gonna, and I understand he on top rank. Top rank, Pac, we big Pacquiao fans, and top rank sometimes, man, Bob Arum move how he want to when he want to. And I understand that part of the game. But what y'all think? Who you think? Because I know Steve Thurman pressing him, man, Gary Russell pressing him, which, got my own thoughts on that Gary Russell. A little small. But I understand they got history, they got a little beef in these streets, and whatever. But either way it go, how do y'all feel about Terence Crawford, Bud Crawford, and his resume, and who you think will be the because I feel like he personally, me, I think he need to press for him, and the Thurman fight would be awesome. I think that'd be awesome. I mean, it's give and take in this game, man. You know what I'm saying? And personally, me, I think that'll be big as it get, because you ain't finna fight Spence yet. Spence will be the biggest that it get unless you can fight a Pacquiao or something. Pacquiao, Spence, outside of those two, personally, I think, Thurman, man. Jump on Thurman head. Get on him. You know what I'm saying? Because he's an amazing fighter. He still got a chance right now. You know what I'm saying? He ain't far away from anybody. But anyways, which one of y'all want to speak on this? All right. Joe, what you got, bro?
I'm gonna take y'all around the world to make a point. And this involves Bob Arum. So I remember one time, man, I was like 16 years old. My aunt had these little like lemon beers, some old weak stuff, whatever. So me and my cousin went, and we went and we drunk them, like, oh, we drunk too much, and we filled them up with water. Stupid, right? So y'all drunk these, we can taste this, watered down. Bob Arum's the king of watered down. How many times we watched a big name fight and he doesn't give us anything on the undercard, right? How many times have we
That's true. That's true. I'll give you that. That's true.
How many times have we seen Terence Crawford fight this supposedly big opponent that Top Rank has built up? And that's right. You're supposed to build up your fighters, but they build up these fights. Like the case with Ndongo. It was this big historical, unification bout where that lasted 2 rounds, and Ndongo's nowhere to be found. So you see these fights that we get from Crawford, and we get the Crawford name, right? You get the Crawford name on the bottom, but the actual fight and the card is watered down. You don't get the bang for your buck. I mean, you look at the name Crawford and Terence Bud Crawford, and you see his performances, but then when you look at the resume, it's a little light. And for him to be 36 fights in, you start to wonder, like, okay, Andre Ward, 32 fights, had promotional issues, injuries. He got some names on there, some dogs on there. You look at Terence Crawford, and you're like, okay, at least let me find one. And the only names that a lot of people recognize are guys that he should have beat. Gamboa, who's, Gamboa,
Yeah.
like one trick pony, aggressive, or an Amir Khan, which you know, I would much more rather prefer Kell Brook than Amir Khan.
Right.
And so
That's
it's just me that some of the guys that get in the ring with him don't seem very deserving unless they're a top ranked guy. And then you see him fight these guys and then they disappear. They're not really relevant in the welterweight division again. So, you know, we get sold some lemon beers filled with water when it comes to Crawford, but it's because of the Crawford name. He is a good fighter. I'm not taking anything away from him. So really, I think the question is when is Crawford and Bob Arum going to press for the big fights? Because to me, Thurman would be a great fight. Him and Porter would be a great fight. I distinctly remember watching some Bud Crawford fights, and I'm like, okay, yeah. And from way, way back when he was on the undercard, you know, and he wasn't that dude yet. Man, I was like, okay, he looked, you know, I didn't see the specialness yet, but he's been on a string of winning, you know, fights, but it's easy to build up that record when you're fighting guys who aren't at the top tier. And I think we can all agree on that. He hasn't fought anybody that's you would consider elite yet. So for me, to answer that question straight up it's going to be when he demands it. When he demands it, when he's like, hey, look, I want this, make this happen, or I'm out of here. He resigned with Bob Arum in 2018, knowing good and well that all top with PBC. So
you got to buck Bob Arum, man. You got to radicalize, man. You got to go and demand what you want.
I hate to say it like this, because Bob Arum's probably a good guy or whatnot. Bob Arum does business the way he does business, but he's gonna have to get up and leave Bob Arum like every legendary fighter does. And you know what I'm saying? So that's one thing I will looking back hindsight, man. Well, Floyd was always saying that, you feel me? And when Pacquiao finally did leave, you know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, Floyd had his whole bag of excuses any damn way. But that was one where I think when he was really looking at the fight, really make the Pacquiao fight, when he wanted to really just get the most for that bag, you know what I'm saying? You know, it was more so like, get more people out of our pocket. We can make this, you know what I'm saying? I give Floyd that. Bob Arum, you know, plus they had their old issues, whatever, anyway. And, you know, I'm sure he didn't want to make him no richer, no more than he had to, but, you know, Pacquiao on the contract, so whatever. It slowed things down. But I'm with you. I get that. And I feel like Bob Arum, you know, he 80 some years old. He not going to.
Bro, he 88, bro. I think he like 88.
That bitch almost 90 years old.
He 88, bro.
The Godfather, man. Salute to the Godfather.
Salute to the Godfather. We love you, man.
I mean, what he was, I don't love him. He was the runner in the jungle.
No, I love Bob Arum, man. He found some good talent, man. You got to think about it.
I feel you, bro. I don't love him.
Yeah, even if he can't keep the big names, he always he find it.
Hey, he got a gift, man. But end of the day, man, you know.
Hey, man. Hold on, man. Let me jump in here, bro.
Speak on it, brother.
Let me jump in. Real talk. Let me give y'all the real question. The real question that we're really, really, really asking, man, when it comes to the welterweight division, is because when you look at the resume of Bud, right? When you look at his resume, it's light. Listen. It's light, but he's literally smashed everybody outside of the four horsemen. What we really asking, we're really not saying when we say, oh, when he'll get a big fight, we're really asking, when will Bud fight Spence? When will he fight Garcia? When will he fight Thurman? Or when will he fight Porter? Now, I'm gonna throw, because I think Porter, no, I think Kell Brook will happen. Forget about that. When people say, because at this point, you got Errol Spence, who's demolished Kell Brook. You got Triple G, who's demolished Kell Brook. So when you talk about,
he don't count.
But what I'm saying though is, at the end of the day, the four elite horsemen that we're really talking about, when we really talk about him fighting fighters who are at their pinnacle, we are talking about those four. Even if Crawford goes and he fights Kell Brook, we'll clap it up for him. It'll be a decent fight. But at the end of the day, you will still have those detractors that still want to see him fight the PBC 4. Straight up. Straight up, everybody wants to see him fight those PBC four.
If he does fight Kell Brook, I'll give him credit because that would be the best fight he's ever fought.
No. I agree. No, I'm not saying. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying people won't give him credit for Brook. But what I'm saying is, what we really talking here. Y'all can mention Kell Brook, like, yeah, that'll be a good fight. We like that. But when people say, when is he gonna fight that elite crew? If you look up and down the welterweight division, we are simply talking about those four fighters. That's really what we're talking about, is when at the end of the day, is Crawford either going to force Bob's hand, or when is Al going to be like, all right, let's open up the floodgates and let's go ahead and make these fights. And then Crawford at that point will match against one of those four horsemen. That's what we're really talking about.
If Kell Brook was in motherfucking PBC in America, now, where would he be? Huh? Because he don't beat Porter. He's the first one to beat Sean Porter now. So,
but what I'm saying, what I'm talking about right here in 2020, at this point with what Spence and Triple G did to him, bruh, I personally don't.
Triple G don't count.
Bruh, I'm not talking about the win. I'm talking about the damage he took. Bro, go back to YouTube and see what he did to him.
I saw that.
He's talking about the damage. Bro, when you take certain damage as a fighter, you never the same. You are never the same, bro. At the end of the day, y'all think after Spence and y'all think after Triple G, those devastating losses, y'all really think that he's still at that level?
Let me ask you with this. He fought a washed-up Gamboa, a washed-up Amir Khan. I'll take Kell Brook and I'll give him credit for that.
Brook will beat the shit out of both of them.
But what I'm saying, but here's what I'm saying. Listen, I'm not saying that people won't give him credit, right? I would love to see the Kell Brook fight. But what I'm saying, when I think criticism is shot at Bud, what we really talking about is, Bud, when are we going to see you against the Keith Thurmans? When are we going to see you against the Porters? That's what I feel people. Now y'all two are bringing up. Now listen.
Kell Brook is a Keith Thurmans. He is a Porter.
No, but what I'm saying is y'all are bringing up Kell Brook. I salute that. But most people, that's not what fans are really asking for. Fans are asking for the PBC 4.
He done fought half of them damn fighters you're talking about.
Go ahead.
Right? What? So right now, if Errol Spence and Terence Crawford fought, would it make the most money, right, that it could ever make?
What do you mean? Because in the future, what do you mean?
No. If they were going to fight this fall, let's say coronavirus wasn't going on, the live gate was going to happen. If they fought this fall, would it make the most money it could make?
Nah. They can make more in the future. They can make more.
It's not Errol Spence's fault. It's Bud's fault. Because number one, he hasn't put his name out there to have the biggest fights that could be out there. So the casual
but again, hold on. But let me ask you a question. You're saying let me ask you a question though. Because you're saying that he hasn't put his name out there for the biggest fights. Name the fighters who he has not put. Like I said, I want to hear the names. Outside of y'all mentioning Kell Brook, mention the names of the huge fights that you're talking about when people say he hasn't put his name out there.
Sean Porter.
Exactly. Who else? That's one. Who else? Next. I'll wait. Next. That's one.
Kell Brook, Keith Thurman.
That's two. I'll wait.
Sean Porter.
That's three. I'll wait.
You got how many? You guys, the guy I thought that beat.
And you guys is PBC too. The dude who Sean Porter struggled with. He's PBC too.
So hold up, why you getting all out? Let me make my point,
bro. Because y'all know I'm right, bro.
No, you're not right.
You're not right.
Bud re-signed with Bob Arum if he knew that.
But that's what I'm saying though, bro. What I'm saying is that at the end of the day, when we talk about Bud,
he literally placed himself in a negotiating freeze-out.
But at this point though, bro, you're having a totally different argument at this point.
Nope.
Because what I'm saying is when you sit here and you say, when is he going to get the big fight? What you are referring to, again, like I said, I will admit that his resume compared to others could be light. But what I will say is outside of those four horsemen, bro, he has sat there and taken out everybody in PBC. So what we're really asking is when will Bud force the hand of getting into the PBC stable? That's all we really asking.
But
because you're saying that like there's a bunch of fighters out there that he's done, or that he's missing.
Bro,
I could see if this PBC thing happened in 2019 and 2020. All the biggest names for the most part that would have gave him a good fight were over in PBC. He chose, knowing that, to stay with Top Rank and essentially isolated himself so it'd be more difficult to get those big fights. So let me make this last point.
It sounded like you said he was ducking him, bro. Quick question. It sounded like you said he was ducking him.
Errol Spence said something, and that is very true. He said he don't need Terence Crawford. You know why? He has enough competition at PBC. So at the same point in time, Terence Crawford hasn't done enough. Top Rank and Bob Arum haven't done enough to make Terence Crawford visible. And so for that point, the fight's not going to be nearly as lucrative, which is Bud's fault because he don't have the resume, nor does he have the namesake for the casual boxing fan. So the fact that you're saying we're talking about PBC fighters, really we're talking about Crawford's willingness to leave Top Rank when he should have and pursue the big fights, like any other fighter who wanted the biggest fights on his own terms would have. Boxing is about taking risks. It's a risk-reward sport. If you stay where you're comfortable, you stay where you're safe, you don't grow. And I'll say this, the welterweight division will be the welterweight division with or without Crawford. We didn't see Mayweather go. Pacquiao is on his way out. Those fights at Top Rank, we're talking about Spence and Garcia. We're talking about Thurman calling people. I mean, they have the top dogs. To be honest with you, it's one of those situations where he can't, at this point, suffer a loss with his name not being as big as it should. We can all agree that Terence Crawford is a really good fighter. Well, none of us know if he's great. Not as great as people are trying to give him, especially with his resume, especially when he hasn't thrown his hat into the ring with the big dog. And I don't want to hear no contract talk. He created that contract situation when he could have went and been basically a freelance fighter, fought one fight contract, and been better about his business if he wanted those big fights more than anything. I just don't think he really is. He's not ducking anybody, but I don't think it was a priority. I think he wanted to be comfortable.
I want to say that.
But go ahead, Q. Go ahead, Q, and I'll follow up.
Yeah, and good you said that. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, it's important to say, man, I feel like Terence Crawford is a G, bro. He's a motherfucking G. He ain't ducking nobody. You know what I'm saying? But it's starting to look like when him and Spence, you know what I'm saying, they ran into each other, and I respect that whole exchange because I feel like both of them recognized real. I feel like it was a real conversation. And Spence told Crawford, "You're on the wrong side of the street." It's looking like he is on the wrong side of the damn street. It's like playing Frogger, bro. You playing Frogger, you got.
And you know he was.
I'm old as hell. Yeah, but Frogger, man. The Frogger, you got the cars and shit going by. You got to take some chances out here in these streets, man. And the chance you want to take, you want to butt Bob Arum. You in a contract, you got to get a little radical, man. You got to say, man, bro, this shit ain't looking good, bro. I'm tired of this shit, bro. I'm too much of a man to take this shit. You got to make these damn fights happen, and you might have to, you know what I'm saying? With Bob Arum is about the money. He might want to make Terence Crawford take the loss. Okay, well, he wants this amount of money. You know what I'm saying? They're going to come out your purse. We're going to give a. I feel like if he make one sacrifice, and you say the four over there in PBC, Kerr Brook could be easily over there, and he could be easily just as damn, you know, every outside of Spence that haven't lost that has beat him. He just as dangerous as anybody else. Special case, man. He a big ass welterweight. He can box, and he got a big ass fan base in the UK. So, man, go to UK and fight his ass. Go over there and fight him. Do what Spence did. Matter of fact, did Sean Porter go over there too?
He might have.
You might be right.
Either way it go, that would not hurt your fucking. That would help you. You go over there. Go over there and tighten his ass up, man, in front of the bloke.
The reason why I asked that question,
here's what I say.
Be as big as possible, is because Spencer's holding up his end of the bargain. He fought Poirier. He about to fight Garcia.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. Oh, well, go ahead.
But check this out. Check this out, though. And that, to me, comes to the point of, here's where I think a lot of things, too, are premature. At this point, Bud is only 32 years of age. For the welterweight division, we could possibly see Bud, Spence, and all of them fighting for, if they truly want to, another possible 8 years, 7 or 8 years. All right? Possible. All right? If they really take care of themselves.
Then we'll be talking about they will pass their prime, but
no. I'm not saying the fight happening. No, ain't nobody talking about the fight. But here's what I mean by it's premature. Bud is only 32. The rest of them boys ain't old yet. Like y'all said, at this point, we have truly gotten to a point where I do feel Bud, outside of maybe Kell Brook, who's not quite PBC, Bud at this point has about exhausted every possible welterweight option there is out there outside of PBC. So at 32 years of age, all right, we're now at a point where I do think you will begin to see pressure for those fights to happen. All right. And so I feel like for those, who want to speak to his long-term legacy, I'm just saying for a welterweight who's only 32 years of age, I'm like, ho, chill. Let's not too soon. Not too soon. Now, if he was sitting there and let's say y'all come to me and Bud is 34 years of age, right? 34 years of age, for whatever reason, he still ain't fought none of those top 4 over at PBC. And he re-ups with Bob again, knowing that that's a crossroad, that's going to be a stumbling block to anything. Then at that point, I would kind of be like, all right, that would be crazy at that point in your career. But when you're 32 or welterweight and you got plenty of years left, y'all hold your horses, my fellas. Chill out, bro.
We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. Let me. Whoa.
He's 32, bro.
Hold on. How old is Aaron Smith?
How old is Aaron Smith? What's he about? 29, 30? What's he about? 30, 31? I'm not sure what his age is.
Let's just say that Lamborghini shit didn't go how it went, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, life's short, bro. Like, bro, we've been talking about these fighters for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And it's fair criticism. It's fair criticism because you're not guaranteed tomorrow, bro. Coronavirus shit is real.
Hey man, listen.
Bro, you're not guaranteed tomorrow, bro.
But the one thing about it is, see, here's why I say hold your horses, because the story isn't over yet for Bud as far as his legacy was going to fight.
That's real.
Because to me, the most genius part of this whole thing is if Bud hears the criticism of the fans like you all.
Do something about it.
Exactly. And let's say he does do something about it, because you got to remember, like I said, at 32 years of age, look at what he's amassed and not taking much punishment. Now you go fight those dogs, and imagine if he wins. So that's why I say, y'all hold your horses.
I think he can.
Hold your horses. Let's see when he get in there with those top dogs. Let's see what happens.
I'm gonna finish it off like this. That Amir Khan fight was bullshit because of what Amir Khan did, and for Crawford taking that fight where Amir Khan was, like, when we heard that fight was being run, it was like, what? A lot of times you hear those fights with Crawford like, what? Ndongo? It's somebody who Bob Arum pulled out of thin air. Ndongo, right? You know what I'm saying? So Jeff Horn got an iffy decision against Pacquiao, and
he a big boy though. He a big boy. That was exciting to see. I ain't gonna lie.
He was a big target, and that fight went just like the odds maker and everybody else.
Anytime you bloody Pacquiao out like that, bro, regardless, you know what I'm saying? Like he didn't deserve the decision, but I want to see Man, go get that shit. I feel like that's a great opportunity for him. And he tapped his ass. And
Yeah,
that's what I
yeah.
want. I like that.
But the point I'm trying to make about that is that's supposed to be one of his big fights.
It's the biggest to me. It's the biggest.
Exactly. And the same criticism, because here's the thing I look at it, right? I try to be objective as possible. If Terence Crawford was a European fighter, right? Because we're used to him because we're in the States. So we hear Bud, you know, we met him. I mean, he's a good fighter, man. I really like his talent. But if he was a European fighter, the level of criticism he would receive from the American media for his light resume will be significantly different, right? Now, the reason why I say that is because look at Joe Calzaghe when he came over. What are the real boxing fans saying? Oh, who has he fought? Yeah.
Well, but no.
He fought Roy and Bernard when they was old. Where was he at during?
No. Now, we know about Jeff Calzaghe. I found out about Jeff Calzaghe because he beat the dog shit out of Joe Calzaghe. I mean, Jeff Lacey. St. Pete. He beat the hell out of that boy. Are you white left-hand Lacey?
But what I'm saying is the mainstream American media didn't even know who he was.
Right.
And so then so all of a sudden he's beating these legends when they're old. So the thing about Bud I look at is like, hey man, you're gonna have to earn that pound for pound status by beating some pound for pound fighters. You know what I'm saying? That I've never seen. This is just me personally. I've never seen somebody who's legitimately considered the pound for pound king, and you haven't beat a top pound for pound fighter.
But check this out though, man. The reason why I think that is, and that's not the same as your typical scenario, is because I think a lot of American boxing observers are aware of the Bob and Al feud and the monopoly that Al has on those top fighters. Now you're right. Now let's say, for example, here's where I would agree with you. But what I'm saying, listen. Here's where I would agree with you. If Bud was out there fighting, and let's say Spence, Porter, Garcia, and Thurman were all independent. One is Golden Boy, one is over here, and they were all spread out. And we all said that they were kind of the most elite of the welterweight division. And somehow, some way, Bud had never fought them. Then, yeah, I think people would take it like how y'all take it and be like, bruh, Bud out here tripping, man. Like, there ain't no reason he ain't fought none of them four. But I do feel that people don't really throw that level of criticism at him yet because people are aware of that welterweight monopoly that's going on with Al. People are not ignorant to the fact that Al ran an operation, like you said, when all of them were young bucks, and they all were younger, and they were all getting snatched up. Bud got snatched up by Bob, and then the rest of them boys slowly follow Mayweather on over to Al, and they all have an allegiance to Al. So people are aware of that Bob-Al feud and how it just makes more monetary sense right now for them all to round robin each other before they let a fighter like Bud into the game. Like, I think people see that for what it is.
You don't think that's on Bud? Because we can both agree there's more money in the bigger fights, right?
No, there's more money in the bigger fights, but then if you're Al, I personally feel like it's just like if we go back to, Mayweather's career, all right? And how Al guided Mayweather. No, listen. If we go back to the different careers that Al has guided, right? Al is a mastermind in strategizing things a certain way and going according to plan. It is fully a part of, now we can sit here and say that Bud should go over there to PBC, knock on their door and try to kick their door down, but let's not sit here and downplay Al Haymon's master plan that once he got those four on his stable, that the smartest thing money-wise was to have y'all fight each other and keep the money here in-house. Then when the time comes, Spence, you'll fight Bud. When the time comes, Thurman, you'll fight Bud. We can't act like that's not a part of Al's plan too, though.
I get that point, but I keep mentioning 36 fights in. You say Al Haymon and all this stuff, but at 36 fights, Mayweather was fighting dogs.
But what I'm saying,
right.
but what I'm saying though is
Roy
you
Jones
keep
had already
saying,
fought James Tony. Like Bernard,
but,
like
but
what I'm telling you is, for me, I'll be consistent across the board. To earn that boogeyman title, the pound for pound title, you gotta beat somebody. I can't just give it to you. At first, I was like, oh yeah, Terence Crawford. And then I'm like, wait a minute.
Right.
And what really threw me for a loop is his last 2 fights. He fights Amir Khan, right? And let's be honest, Amir Khan wasn't going to win that fight because Amir Khan does what he always does. He looks good for a few flashes, and he's out of there. But let's be real about it. You can touch Bud Crawford. Like, he's very hittable. For his switch in, he's very hittable. And so he follows that up by a rough fight against a guy who's, decent opponent, gets dropped. And it's kind of like, okay, well, what happens when he steps up in competition? Is this why he hasn't stepped up in competition? So I don't know. I'm not going to sit up there and say with any certainty, oh, Bud's that dude, because I'm like, you got to show me now. I'm sorry, I've been watching boxing since I was like 10, 11 years old, man, probably younger than that. 36 fights in, man, I expect you to at least have somebody on your resume that I can measuring stick something.
But here's the problem. But here's the problem again with that position. If we go down the line, that's why I keep saying everybody says.
Fights.
But what I'm saying though is we cannot name one other person outside. You said what?
I was gonna say a legitimate fighter.
We can't name not one person outside of those 4 fighters who are in his cohort that is out there independent. That was a great fight that Bud could make. Everybody who was somewhat bubbling at a time or older, whether it's Ray Beltran, whether it's Gamboa, whether it's Victor Postile, whoever it was, they lined them up, Bud knocked them down. If you cannot name anybody outside of those 4 at PBC, bruh, that he has not fought. That's why I say the real question is, when is he going to fight one of those 4?
Let's get the timeline right first. For a long time, Crawford was fighting at 140. Right?
Right.
He was at 135, then he went to 140. Now, I say this about any fight. I criticize Lomachenko for not wanting to move up in weight. I know when fighters dare to be great, right? We've all seen this. I have this criticism of Triple G. If you want, and I've never heard Crawford come out and be, just boastful, and so I'm not casting this on him. I'm just talking about the people who build Crawford up, and rightly so, because he's looked great in his fights for the most part. But for the accolades he's getting, there's too many people who are in boxing right now and who have been in boxing prior to that have taken way more chances and desire to be great to the point where they move up, they move down. Boxing is littered with guys that's forced their way into big fights because they wanted to take those risks and they wanted to show you they were the best. Now, for me, there's fights that could have been made above weight, below weight. It just boggles the mind that he's never been in a big fight. 30 fights, he's never been in a big fight.
Let me say something real quick because we getting a little late. I just want to say something real quick in regards to one of the fighters that we talking about, him fighting. We didn't talk about Kilbrook, so I want to speak on Keith Thurman real quick. Because honestly, man, keep it a buck with you. I like Crawford better than Keith Thurman. I like all of the top 4 fighters, 5 fighters better than Keith Thurman. You know what I'm saying? Just it's on some. I feel I had times where I felt like Keith Thurman done played prima donna for a while. You know what I'm saying? When he was undefeated. And don't get me wrong, he done been through a lot in the sport. He done been hurt, sidelined for like multiple injuries. You know what I'm saying? So, and I understand right now. And he gained my respect when he fought Pacquiao. You understand what I'm saying? I was a little scared about that fight. for Pacquiao, but the way the fight played out, and I was scared the second half of the fight. You know what I'm saying? Till Pacquiao caught him in like the 9th round and hurt him in the body. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, shit, he's gonna come back and win. You know what I'm saying? And he had been, real not that active or whatever. And he done been through a lot of shit. Throughout the time that he's with the side, like I don't even think Crawford been hurt and been out for being injured. You know what I'm saying? And Thurman was around before Crawford was up, especially up at welterweight, obviously. You know what I'm saying? But Thurman not really getting his credit, and he deserved to get a bag. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, and honestly, I know he see this shit. Like, Crawford need Thurman. He need fucking Keith Thurman.
He needs somebody.
The B side will be Kell Brook. Outside of that, you need a 147 pounder. That's a dog that done beat some fucking body in the fold. If it's not, because like I said, the only one that's still standing, you know what I'm saying, is Errol Spence that's undefeated. But if you get Pacquiao, he holding the belt. But outside of that, man, I mean, but bro, this shit is real. It's real in there, man. And Keith Thurman deserves more respect, even from me. That's why I had to sit back and be like, damn, Keith Thurman.
And that's the point I was.
He done beat Porter. He done beat fucking Garcia. Like, this man, shit.
And I think that's what kicked off this conversation. If viewers haven't seen it, there was Thurman called out Bud, and basically said, look at your resume. And love him, like him, or hate him, Thurman's right.
He right.
He's absolutely spot on.
I'm mad at you. I'm mad at you, right? Because I love to be on the opposite side of the conversation, defending Bud. That's my guy.
But let me throw this at y'all right quick too. That y'all also have to consider. And this is why I would agree with the notion that when Bud's contract is up, he would possibly need to jump ship or work something out. Because what I firmly believe, all right, and Bob and them have alluded to this, is that years ago, because remember at the time when everybody was getting signed to the different stables, right? Pacquiao was still with Top Rank. What I firmly believe is that part of why, and Jay, you just hit on it, where we all saw when Crawford cleared out 140 and then he jumped to welterweight because he knew that's where the big fish was at. But in part of that too was you had literally, arguably, the biggest fish, well, you can argue Mayweather a little bit big if you want to talk about money, but the biggest fish in the welterweight division was right there in your stable. So you signed with Bob with a commitment that if you work your way up, you get a shot at the top fish in the division to prove yourself. That plan falls through. We all know how that went. We all know how once Pacquiao got to the end of that contract, and they're like, oh, remember, you was supposed to let that boy Bud get that fight, Pac. Remember? We promised him over here. Pac said, hell nah. Well, y'all.
They let go on with Jeff Horn, and he was like, nah, bro.
Yeah, he said, nah. And so I think part of it, too, is that's why I say some stuff with Bud is to be seen. Because arguably the biggest person he could have fought, just like we talked about Thurman getting an opportunity to fight Pac, right? Really, we could sit here and say that if it wasn't for Pac making a wise decision for himself, which I think we would all agree that was wise for Pac at that time, that Bud is sitting there looking like, God damn. He's sitting there looking like, man, that was supposed to be me right there. Y'all promised me that fight. And then
why resign at that point in 2018?
But real quick, y'all just said some shit that made me think. Do y'all remember what Bob Arum said? Because I know we all watched that fight when Pac fought when he fought my man we just talking about over there down under in Australia, Jeff Horn.
Oh, Jeff Horn. Yeah, Jeff Horn.
That bogus ass decision.
That robbery, yeah.
Do you remember Bob Arum when he spoke about that shit? Do you remember that shit? He basically said Jeff Horn. He might have well said Jeff Horn beat the hell out of Pacquiao. He said Jeff Horn won the fight. He was trying to get Jeff Horn on the stable. I don't remember. Did Jeff Horn go to Top Rank? He was trying to replace Pacquiao. He like, okay, he a big boy, you know what I'm saying? you know, Caucasian man, where I can sell him. You know what I'm saying? From down under, he down in Australia. I can make some. He saw dollar signs, marketing. You know what I'm saying? He shitted on Pacquiao. He didn't say, "Hey, fuck my dude." You know what I'm saying? This guy done been the guy that done made me the most money. You know what I'm saying? As of late, and they, you know, he didn't stand for him. So that really lit a fire to Pacquiao.
Everybody know what
Crawford,
it was a setup. Why would you have a smaller guy fighting outside in another country, man?
Exactly. So that's why I say Bud going how to get radical. You got to see what this man did. His loyalty ain't there, bro. You got to do what's best for you. You damaging your motherfucking legacy right now. You damaging your legacy by letting too much time go by, bro. You got you getting flipped out of Lamborghinis. You got coronavirus. You got damn. You got domestic terrorism.
Lamborghinis, bro. What you talking about, bro? What you talking about? You talking about Spence?
No, bro. You never said that.
I'm
just saying, ain't nothing guaranteed. Listen what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying, bro. What's the biggest fight that Bud waiting on?
Oh, it's a Spence fight. Most definitely.
So what the fuck are we talking about? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, bro.
But hold on.
You can't count them eggs. Day by day.
I'll say this.
You gotta try.
Because I'm a Bud Crawford fan. Like I said, I'm fair. I don't care who. I'm fair. I am a Bud Crawford.
I try to be.
He can't lose.
No, man. That man fight, bro. That man. I don't give a damn.
He can't step up. He can't lose a split decision to Kell Brook.
No,
he can't do that. Not after all this.
It'll set him back because it'll make him look bad. It'll make him look bad.
Not after 36 fights, pound for pound, people arguing for you, got your back. So the pressure is mounting. The pressure's there. So I don't want anybody to underestimate that too. Like, you gotta think about it. Everybody you mentioned over PBC besides Errol Spence, they have lost. Or they at very least have been through wars. Right? Danny Garcia. He's third.
Yeah, man. I mean, shit. They tested. They battle tested.
Been through war. Porter's been through wars.
Yeah.
Kell Brook, everybody's battle tested. So for me, he can't lose. He can't lose. He can't lose before he knock off a big name.
Hey, you know what? He been privileged. He been living in privilege for a while.
In this day and age, I appreciate when a black fighter is being taken care of, because sometimes you don't see him afforded that ability.
I'm not hating at all. I'm not hating at all.
Hey, man.
Like I said, I would love to.
Y'all see what happens soon. Stay tuned.
I hope you're right, because that's my guy, bro. That's my dude.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? He's the guy. I known it as being as a Pacquiao. I said, man, shit, bro. You know, I'm gonna ride with my boy TC, man. Ride with Bud. Every time we done met the man, he done picked it up with us. He a G, man. I like him. You know, skill, and he got the skill to pay the bills. He just, I really didn't like him because I really felt away about Top Rank while Pacquiao was there, because Pacquiao was my guy for the longest. Pacquiao my dude.
Now, I will say this. Though, right quick, that if his next fight, right, I will say if his next fight isn't Kell Brook, because let's assume that it's still the typical PBC stuff. Let's assume that still go down like it's going down, because Porter about to fight. We know what Spence and Garcia about to fight each other, and so that leaves Thurman. All right, but let's say his next fight isn't Kell Brook, and it's some off-brand no name. Now, I will admit at that point, we would need to know from Kell Brook why things fell through. I will admit that. In his next fight, if it's not Kell Brook and it's some off-brand Joe Schmo, whoever.
I'm gonna say right now, if you hop in the ring with Triple G, you'll hop in the ring with anybody as a welterweight.
Straight up. Real shit. And, you know, hey, if we don't get Kell Brook, if we don't get Special K and we get some motherfucking kicks, we're going to know what that be about, bro. We got to get some shit that come on, you know. We got to get some kicks, man. We got to see what's good. I love kicks. But I'm just saying, bro, you know, that's you know, we just going to need details, man. And at this point, man, it's getting to be ridiculous, man. You know, it's going to be ridiculous. You need a body. You need a body, bro.
And I'm not gonna put it on Bud in the sense where it's like, hey man, you ducking, because I don't ever want to be confused with say, Bud's ducking. Now, that's not. He don't even seem like that.
No, it ain't him.
It just seemed like he real comfortable right now.
It ain't.
And
Right.
greatness ain't built in your comfort zone. So that's all I'm saying.
Hey, he got to go on IG Live and throw a brick through Bob Arum window. He got to set that shit up, man. Because, bro, you don't be comfortable right now, bro, because your legacy on the line. You know what I mean? Straight up. I'm one of your top constituents, man. That's a big one. I'm one of your top dudes, man. I'm your ally, man. I'm out here, man. I'm out here on that Bud shit, man. Straight up.
Hey, man, listen, every fight I'm rooting for Bud, except maybe when he fights Spin. But other than that, I love Bud, man. He a good dude, man. Down to earth, man. I appreciate the time he took with us when we did meet him a few times we met him.
Real shit. I'm a root for him against Spence. The only thing about it is I just need to see before he go way that high. I'm gonna need to see him fight a knee baby. You got to fight a hip baby because them ankle babies where you can't go straight. It's just you spend a lot of time and a lot less opponents, bro. And and you done your thing. But it ain't your fault. I know how Bob Arum get down, man. You like that in-house. You like to keep that money in-house. But it's a price to pay with that, man. And you the one paying the price because Bob Arum getting money. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
I'm sure
all I gotta say, man, stay tuned. Stay tuned, man. Stay tuned.
Free Bud Crawford.
Free Bud, man. Free Bud Crawford, man. They don't legalize in a lot of damn states, man. You got a free Bud in damn in top rank too. You know what I'm saying?
Legalize blood, man.
Legalize that shit, man.
Let it loose.
got the man doing life, man. The man doing life. He got three felonies for selling $20 bag, man. That shit ain't cool, bro. We got to do an overhaul. That's why y'all need to get out and vote. I voted today. Y'all need to get out and vote, man. Local to the federal, all the way from the bottom to the top, man. Do your research, bro. We spending too much time. We spending too much damn time entertaining ourselves. We need to educate ourselves too, also, man. We need to set up a scale. So much entertainment, so much education.
Read before you sign the contracts, kids.
Boxing vibes, TV, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what kind of with another one? You know
with another one.
Boxing vibes TV with another
we
one.
The best.
We the best, man. Y'all better tighten up. Y'all better get y'all shit together, man. Straight up, I told y'all, you want to be the one that say I was there win. Y'all motherfuckers ain't there win. I'm taking names. Y'all better get y'all shit together, man. But select notifications, subscribe button, man. Smack that like button, and we got y'all, man. You crack your screen. We got a check in the mail for you, man. Don't even worry about it.
All right.
Peace and love, boxing fans. 1,000. We'll get with y'all. Peace.